Hey guys, so most likely this will be the last one before bed, but this is a pretty interesting concept. So this is a trailer, The Lord of the Rings Gollum, the Untold Story trailer. Um, Now there's been numerous games for Lord of the Rings, but none of them that focused on Gollum or Smeagol. Uh, and this is the Untold Story. So Untold Story, we know there's a portion that we don't know about, basically when he was captured and he was tortured and all that. And judging by the trailer, I think that might be what it is. But but this is Lord of the Rings Gollum, the Untold Story, the story you never knew.
Don't let them see us, precious. They'll find us. They'll see us. Nasty, filthy oxes. Kill them. No, we must hide. We can't let them get their nasty, filthy handses on our precious.
Okay, so a couple things. Now, Smeagol has had many incarnations, meaning he's looked different over the years. If you go back and look at the concept art of what he was kind of meant to look like in the books, there's the Lord of the Rings cartoon movie, animated movie that they did, where he looks very different. There's the Peter Jackson movies, which this is what it's based on, which is weird. Was Andy Serkis not available? I mean, Andy Serkis is Gollum. So was he just not available to do the voice? I mean, I'm pretty sure he's been the voice in Gollum in every game and whatever that Gollum's appeared. Um, he also has this like very, like when in Beetlejuice when he turns into the snake. Like this looks like Beetlejuice's face when he turns into the snake. These big eyes and just very clay looking. It's weird because the rest of it looks absolutely gorgeous, but then Gollum looks so out of place. Like you see very realistic looking areas, and then you see this. It's odd. It's just odd to see. Because like I said, it's very you look at the rocks, you look at the backgrounds, you look at the textures, and it's very realistic. You look at the that right there, um, very realistic looking. But then you have Gollum, and he just seems so out of place. So, as I was saying before, I think this takes place during the time of Barad-dûr, where he's there, because we know he escapes, but we don't know if they let him go after he gives up the information or if he fights his way out. Um, so I think that might be because there was really no other point where he would be in a type of situation like this. Because for the most part, he lived in solitude. He stayed away. We see in The Hobbit that he kind of has his own little cave, and he just kind of stays there. He doesn't really want anything to do with the outside world. So this is most likely when he was captured. Um, So it'll be interesting. I mean, there must be, obviously there's going to be stealth. There might be situations where it might prompt you to, press this to, sneak or some shit like that. You can obviously use any weapon or something like that that you have at your disposal. So in this case, you pull it, pours on top of them, kind of like in a Lord of the Rings games, because you were able to do that in, hell, even the games for like GameCube and PlayStation 2. I remember playing Return of the King, and you were able to do that. If something was able to be set on fire, you could set it on fire. If there was a lever and you could hit it and make things fall on top of them, you could do that. And that was back in the early 2000s, so pretty sure it's along the same lines where if you can use it and it's set up to where you can, it's all fair game. So I don't, since it might be Barad-dûr, there might be appearances from Sauron, since that's kind of where he is. This is in Mordor. Not like a physical appearance, but we might see, the eye keeping track of Gollum, trying to keep him from leaving, or whatever the case may be. I don't know. But yeah, it's interesting to see a Gollum game. It'd actually be interesting to live out his, have a game, but just Gollum's life from when he started out as Smeagol, and the day he murdered Deagle for the ring, and then he slowly started to morph into this, and it's just kind of lead up, because if the entire game is just him escaping from Barad-dûr and escaping Mordor, then I don't see how that would be a long game. I mean, I get that the place is big, but I don't think it should take an entire game to get out of. So there must be some other story element to it to draw it out, or something like that. We see one of the shots, so we've got him pouring that on him. There's the shot with the helmet falling down, where he's trying to get the helmet. So that must mean you'll maybe be able to don the helmet and kind of pretend like you're one of the guards, which would be stupid, because you can clearly tell he's not an orc. He's not the same height as an orc. He's not the same body build as an orc. I mean, I know some of the orcs are small, but he's gangly. It's pretty obvious. But maybe he's going to do what Sam and Frodo did and disguise themselves. Actually, they managed to get through just fine, didn't they? I don't know. Maybe the orcs are stupid enough to believe that he is one of them. I don't know. But if they catch him, looks like meat's back on the menu, boys. So, but yeah, I find the model of Gollum to just be weird. It's like, really, go. Let me bring it up. Okay, so keep in mind, obviously there's some differences, but for the most part, it almost looks the same. So we've got Smeagol here, and then the Beetlejuice one. Huge eyes, almost the same kind of shaped face, scraggly hair. The nose almost looks the same. Clearly not humanistic looking, very fake. Well, not fake, but you get what I mean. You got also the bags around the eyes, but you can kind of see what I'm talking about, how it reminds me of this. Obviously Beetlejuice looks a lot more evil, but you get what I'm getting at with this. But that's what he reminds me of. I just, his face, it doesn't look like it belongs. Like, the body looks fine for the most part. But I don't know. Also, like I said, the voice is so off-putting. You're so used to hearing Andy Serkis as Gollum. And not just Gollum, this incarnation of Gollum, the one that they're clearly basing off of the movies. And it's not him. It's like a poor imitation. It's like the voice director just said, "Hey, you want a job?" to like some kid in the mailroom or some shit. It's like, I'll pay you $50. It doesn't sound right. I do like those shots though, like that one, where he's covered in darkness and you can just see the gleam and the whites of his eye. I mean, he's already pretty off-putting the way he looks, but then when you see just his eyes, it's very unsettling. You know, see, like he's darkened out for the most part. You can't see a whole lot of features, but you just see the white, you know, the shine, the gleam in his eye. But it let's see if there's any things yet on here. Still no comments. Okay, well, there's that. We'll just play the ad, I guess, so we can get back to the video. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, like I said, I think it's a pretty cool concept. We haven't had something like this. And I like the lore with Lord of the Rings. It's so fleshed out and it's so immersive. I would love to see games focusing, you know, on the creation of Middle Earth, you know, Numenor, the creation of Maiar. Just there's basically the god tier, and God, there's a lot to go on in that. So I would love to see that. And it would be cool, you could show, you know, Gandalf and Sauron and Saruman and Radagast in like their true forms. Because they were basically tasked with watching over and everything, people of Middle Earth, that they could, you know, help but not interfere. But they took the form of wizards, old men. But they're not really old men. So they can take any form they want, which is how Sauron tricked the elves into making the rings for him, because he came in the guise of a beautiful elf. So they can take different forms. But I want to see all the way back to the creation. That'd be so freaking cool. Because it's just like kind of like the Greek pantheon or something. You have all these humongous beings with just these great powers who shape the universe and everything in it, and you know, trees of light and darkness. It's so cool. So I would really love to see more games focus on that, more individual characters that we may not know much about. I mean, for the most part, like Frodo, Sam, the Fellowship, we pretty much know at this point. But there are plenty of other characters that, like Tom Bombadil. I would love to play a game as Tom Bombadil. You know, the guy is god level. So So I would love to see a game with him. And if you don't know who he is, look him up. He's pretty crazy, and not like a bad crazy, like, oh my god, he's, evil. No, he's a good-hearted, good-natured fellow. He just likes to stay, out of the way with his wife, listening to her songs, and he helps the hobbits in the book, but we don't see him in the movies, which is unfortunate because he's a pretty interesting character. He's one who has no desire for the ring. He's able to resist its whispers and its evils and this and that. So he's immune from basically everything. He's pretty powerful. We don't know how powerful he is, but pretty powerful. So I would love to see a Tom Bombadil game. That'd be crazy. Just playing as this jolly, merry fellow. But yeah, so I mean, and I don't see many Lord of the Rings games like Lord of the Rings Online. I don't know exactly the story in there. I mean, is it like a current one, like going on around the same time as like Frodo, and then there was the second, the first age? I mean, when does it take place? Also, I mean, there really aren't many Lord of the Rings games uh, that I know of. I really don't see many. All right, so there's this. This is every single Lord of the Rings video game, and this is from April 7th, 2021. It says officially ranked, so we don't care about the ranking, but apparently there's 32. So The Hobbit: Battle of Five Armies, movie-based. Lord of the Rings: Legends of Middle-earth. A lot of these are going to be like mobile or like MMOs that I don't think will have a whole lot of. If a license, well, the mobile scene will be blessed with the turn-based. Okay, yeah. So, Lord of the Rings Conquest, Lord of the Rings text-based trilogy. That's amazing. Got the Ring Wraith over there. The Nazgul. The Hobbit, Armies of the Third Age. At first I saw those, I thought those were Daleks. I don't know why. Exterminate! The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, Orc Attack. Interactive, let's see. Peter Jackson's second entry in the Hobbit trilogy. J.R.R. Tolkien's Riders of Rohan. The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey, Journey Through Middle-earth, so I'm guessing more movie-based. The Hobbit, Kingdoms of Middle-earth. What, barely any, wait, let's see, it was a reskin of Arcane Empires or Trojan War. So most of them really, I don't think, really dive into the real lore of Lord of the Rings. So Numenor, we don't see it, and I was talking about like just ideas. Iluvatar would be the person I would love to see the most. Numenor is Kingdom of Men, established on an island brought up out of the sea by the Valar. So, I don't, like I said, I don't know if anything takes place in Numenor right now of all these games. The Dark Lord Morgoth. Yeah, huh? The original big bad. Like, this was like before Sauron, so Year of the Lamps. Yeah, the great trees, that's what I was talking about before. But the Balrogs. We use his music with heroes. So Eru is another name for Luvatar. So basically, he's just God, essentially, of Middle Earth. But anyway, The Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. Gee, I wonder, based on the movie, Middle Earth Defense mobile game. Lord of the Rings, Journeys in Middle Earth. No idea what that's supposed to be. Lord of the Ring, Aragorn's Quest. Let's see. Told from the perspective of a fatherly Samwise Gamgee, the Lord of the Rings, Aragorn's Quest recounts the actions of Gondor's future king during the War of the Ring. Lord of the Rings, War of the Ring. Lord of the Rings, War of the North. The Hobbit. Lord of the Rings adventure card game. Ever since made in 2011. Lord of the Rings Tactics. Oh wait. Where's Sarah? Next page. Because says 13 out of 32, and we started all the way at 32, so where's the rest of them? 14, 13. Did you forget to put the rest? Nope, can't find it. But I was looking over at Iluvatar. Yeah, this guy is pretty much, you can tell just by the concept art of that. He's based on what people imagine God to be like, a very old, wise-looking old man with, long beard, long white hair, robed. The One, the All-High, the Father of all, alone. God of Arda, creator, deity of Middle Earth, realms, timeless halls, race, God. Because he is the God. He's the one who made everything. The Valar and the Maiar and all of them. So, yeah, if you want to brush up on your Lord of the Rings stuff, Transcendent. Yeah, this is like where I want to start. I want to see this guy create everything. That'd be so fucking cool. But anyways, yeah, so Numenor is a place I would love to see. I would love to see characters like Iluvatar, see Sauron and Saruman and Gandalf and Radagast and all of them in their original forms. There are 2 blue wizards, but no one knows where the fuck they are, so don't give a shit about them. So I would love to see a more fleshed out version, or I would love to see Sauron going to the elves and, deceiving them, having them make rings and stuff like that. If it hasn't been shown before, So Gollum, it's a great story. So for you guys, if you could have a story told in Lord of the Rings in a game, because there's plenty of them, what would you pick? Like I said, I would start at the beginning, start with Iluvatar and go from there. So, but that's the history, the entire history of Middle Earth. Maybe some people just want to focus on certain, a single person and a single event. But yeah, who would you pick? And why? We all have a reason for wanting to see certain things and experience certain things. Like I said, Iluvatar is God. So to experience the creation of Middle Earth and to see him birth the cosmos, essentially, of Middle Earth, the Earth, Middle Earth, and everything on it, and stuff like that. To see the rise of men, all that great stuff. That'd be cool. But yeah, so let me know below. But pretty interesting. Hopefully they come out with more trailers to show a little more what it's about. Who knows? Anyways, you guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.